Hello and welcome to my website. Obviously, you're searching for an Iris Sclera camera, and that's why you've reached my website. And I'm going to tell you about this magnificent creation. But before I tell you about the IrisCam, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself, if I may. I started in photography when I was 10 years old, and my dad gave me my first camera. Man, was I excited. I got to take 12 pictures. I never got to see what they were like until I had it developed. Remember those days of film cameras? Well, from there in high school, I started doing photography for the yearbook, and I did that for 3 years. I went off to get an undergraduate degree, and then working in a graduate program, I started doing professional photography. And I was doing photography with weddings and banquets and parties and special occasions and some portrait work. And that was a lot of fun. And then in my 30s, I met Dr. Bernard Jensen. And I might say that I'm very proud that I earned a PhD in Iridology from an accredited program under the tutelage of Dr. Bernard Jensen. And I'm very grateful to him for giving me a start. Well, I met him and I said, wow, a world of iris photography. This is amazing. I could photograph. And I had already had a quarter of a century of experience in cameras. So it was an easy transition for me to move into iris photography. And here we are today. And I have created what we call the Pesek IrisCam MultiFlex. And I'm happy to tell you that this is the finest creation that I have made thus far in all of my years in iris photography. And I've been creating and developing and designing and building different cameras over, well, since 1986 when I met Dr. Jensen. Well, let's talk about this camera now. Number one, when you're doing proper iris photography, it's really important to have the client have their head stabilized, and the camera has to be stabilized. Even professional photographers in the wild, in portrait work or nature photography, they use a tripod to take their pictures. They don't handhold a camera. It's the same thing in iris photography. Handheld cameras are not the best way to do iris photography. It depends on what level you're choosing to invest in. This is an investment. Let's go further. So what we do is we'll look at this. Here's a chin rest. It's even sculpted out a little bit, and the client sets their chin right in there, and then their forehead is cradled by this flexible material. So it curves to the frontal bone, because this right here is different in all people. It's not the same. So with this being flexible, it allows the head to be positioned comfortably for the client, and then their chin sits in here, and now they're stable. By the way, this is custom made for me. Now, over here, the camera is mounted on a post or a pedestal. Now the camera is stable without movement. Now we've got the client here, the camera here, you focus it, and you can take a picture. I'll show you. It also comes with a wireless remote. So you should not touch the camera to take the picture. You don't push the shutter button, because that shutter button causes movement. And that movement will cause the picture to be slightly out of focus, even if you're perfectly in focus. No movement. That's why you use a wireless remote to take the picture. But now you've got to have the right equipment. Now, sometimes some of my students and other people say, well, you know what? I don't need an iris camera. I'll just go online. I'll go to eBay. I'll go to Amazon, and I'll buy a camera with a close-up lens. Boom, I've got an iris camera. Really? Try it. It doesn't work. Lighting is critical in iris photography. That's it. Photo, graphic of light, photography, graphic of light, reflections. So you've got to have proper lighting. This particular illuminator is made with custom designed fiber optic glass cables. I have my own parts with these manufacturers. Now here with the lighting needs to be at a set at a 45-degree angle. Do you see that right there? 45-degree angle. That's the best for getting started in iris photography. This angle right here, it's 45 degrees to your subject or the iris. Also, when you're looking at the eye, we're talking about lighting from the left and right side. Well, here, I'll turn it around this way. And right here, I'll tip it down. This is a shutter that slides back and forth. You can do lateral light, medial light, or you can put it in the center and get both lights to fire at the same time. We're using the flash from the camera, which is a xenon flash, which is full spectrum light. LED lighting in iris photography is absolutely the wrong way to go. LED lighting. No, no, no. But what do I know? I've had a camera in my hand since I was 10. That's why I want to teach you, whether you get this camera or not, I want to educate you through this video about what you should look for when you're looking for investing in an iris camera that can earn money for you. So here's what I'm thinking about. You got to look at the lateral and medial light because you're looking at a dynamic living tissue that's three-dimensional, right? You've got lacunas and contraction furrows and radial furrows and a collarette. They all have texture. It's not flat. Some people think that putting the light in iris photography in the center in the pupil is the way to go. Oh, wow, I don't have a reflection on the iris. That is absolutely the wrong way to do it. It needs to be lateral and medial. Then the dynamics of the lighting gives contrast, contour to the iris, and it comes alive with the lighting and the shadows from the ridges and textures in the iris. Okay? So now, not only that, if you'd like, I can go even further and show you that all of this is adjustable. These hinged lights here, like this, if you need to move it and you want to get closer, you can pull it out this way. I can move it this way. I can do anything with it. All of this is adjustable. Here, right there, let me show you right there. See how there's a slide in there. I'll push this down. See that? That'll slide up and down as well. So these lights are totally adjustable. Some people build cameras and the lights are fixed. They don't move. They're fixed. They're always going to be in the same spot. And sometimes the lateral medial doesn't. It's all the same. Okay, enough said about all that. One more thing is I want to tell you about these little eye cup cameras. They're called USB cameras, or they're called iris cameras, iris scopes. Oh my gosh. Beware, caveat emptor. They are not iris cameras. They're a conversion from an esthetician's skin camera, and some people were clever enough to put an eye cup on the end of it and put it over an eye and say, oh, this is an iris scope. Wow. Far from it. That is not professional. They're not focusable. They're LED lights. They don't do brown eyes well. It just doesn't work. Now, speaking of eye color, when we're looking at iris color, this camera will render every iris in true color because this is full spectrum white light. And the camera is fully adjustable so that what you can do when you're photographing an iris, you can adjust the aperture on the camera. And for brown eyes, you open up the lens a little bit so the aperture gets lower, or the aperture gets higher when you've got an eye that's kind of white, bluish white. Now, I want to show you the iris colors and what this camera can do. The first picture that you see here now is a blue iris or lymphatic iris. Now, look at the color, look at the balance in that. That's true color. And the camera renders a razor sharp picture. That takes practice, but it renders a razor sharp picture. Now, what we're doing is as we adjust the lighting, And sometimes we have to get a little closer for the eye color, the darker it is. What we want to do is take a look now at the biliary iris or mixed colored iris. And you know that that's the blending of blue genetics and brown eye genetics. And together, it's the newest eye color on the planet, by the way. That blend gives rise, in some instances, babies are born with this mixed or biliary colored iris. Take a look at the picture here and how beautiful it is, and how this camera can photograph the biliary iris. Now, let's take a look at the toughest eye to photograph, the oldest eye color on the planet, the brown eye, the hematogenic eye, the iris that's covered in melanin pigment. It's a tough eye to photograph because light reflects off of the cornea and makes a lot of reflection or artifact. And that's a challenge. Take a look at this brown iris. Is that beautiful? Look at how clear it is. Look, that's not by mistake. It's all about the engineering and the design that has gone into this camera. It's not just take a camera and stick it on a pedestal and boom, it'll take that picture. It's the fiber optics, it's the lighting, it's the working distance between the human eye and the camera. And you can get razor sharp pictures. I'm going to show you, I'm going to move this back and forth. This is called a rack and pinion. That rack and pinion is research grade, comes from an optical company. Research grade rack and pinion. Underneath it is another component called a fluid head. And this fluid head is so smooth, you can move it just like this. And there's no stutter, there's no shudder. It's just as smooth as could be. This is also a professional grade head for a tripod to mount a video camera to for smooth movement. But I put it on a still camera for you. Now, what else do I want to share with you? The versatility of the lighting. Oh yeah, here. I want to show you this. You know, you can't photograph it. You should be photographing an eye in a little bit of a darker environment, not with overhead lights like I have in my studio here. Okay. You want to have a light that looks like this. It's a focusing light. You see that focusing light right there? Okay. Now that light will shine on the eye. You're going to get a reflection off the cornea, yes. But what it does when it's in position is it illuminates the iris properly so you can do razor sharp focusing. Thought about everything. I've been doing photography since I was 10 years old. Look at me. It's been a while. Don't you think? I've got some experience at it. Since I was 10. That was 100 years ago. Well, anyway, why do I call it the Pesek IrisCam? Well, because I put my name on it because it's quality. All the way through. The materials in this. This is not particle board. This is 1-inch thick, 9-ply furniture grade plywood. This will stay structurally tight forever. As long as you live, this will stay structurally tight with people hanging on it, putting their chin in it, their forehead, and holding on like this when they're taking a picture. It will be stable forever. The post is plywood, strong. The laminate is professionally done. All of this is professionally done by a craftsman that builds furniture. The engineering of these parts, like the illuminator and the positioner and all of that, is done by a machine shop that builds these parts specifically. And the jigs and the molds that they use, they made those to make this. This is custom, totally custom and professional at every single level of precision equipment. Even the nuts and bolts are all in the screws that you don't see. Everything is stainless steel. I don't cut a corner. on anything. It'll never rust. You've got it all right here. It's all here. Now, why do I call it the IrisCam MultiFlex? Because, my friends, it comes off. And you can use this when you are photographing a child, perhaps. Mommy's going to hold the child, and you can take the picture this way. Or if you are working with somebody in a wheelchair, and in a wheelchair, you're going to have to hold it and get down with them. And okay, now that's not the ideal, but if that's the way you need to make your picture, to get that shot, to get that perfect iris picture, you can. Now, when it's on the pedestal, it's set on manual focus. But when you're doing something like hand holding it, you put it on autofocus and let the camera do the work for you. That's why it's called a multiflex. And in addition to that, if you really want to use this camera body as a camera for parties and Christmas and New Year's and birthdays, all of this comes off. And I give you a normal lens, an 18 to 55 millimeter zoom normal lens you can replace all this with, and you can take regular pictures. So it's really quite versatile. But the best way I recommend is doing it this way, and be a clinician. See, these things have a mind of their own because it's all fiber optic glass. Everything is to the utmost of professional quality engineering and materials. In addition, it all will be packed up. It comes apart and fits in a travel case. It's going to be down the website. You'll get to see all the parts in a travel case. This travel case is shippable. You can leave it. It's an indestructible case almost. It's watertight. It's airline friendly. And I've shipped these cameras all the way to Asia, and they arrive at the other end in perfect condition. Everything works inside because it's all custom cut foam. In addition to that, you're thinking, well, I don't have a table. I don't have something. This is actually my workbench, by the way, to put these cameras together. Yes, I do them. Personally, I put a lot of love and energy and attention and my meticulous nature into putting this camera together for you personally. And I handle every step of the way in dealing with all the people, the machine shops, the custom made fiber optic glass, the woodworking. I'm in it every step of the way. And the quality has got to be there. But the legs, if you don't have a table or a desk, or you have a clinic where you want to set this up, or a health food store, or you're just getting started, you can put it on legs, because underneath this are mountings, brackets to thread a leg into it. They come into two sections, and that all fits in the lid of the camera case. You'll see that when you go and look down below, scroll down, you will see the legs as well. So I've thought of everything. And one more thing I'd like you to think about with the Pesek IrisCam MultiFlex. This is an investment for you to earn money. But above all, you do it with love. You're looking to help others to gain wellness. And this is a tool for you that will pay for itself many times over. In addition to that, not in this video, but I'm letting you know that I also have Iridology software, holistic iris analysis software for you. And you can actually do iris reports. And beware of the scanning software. Well, I'm not going to go into that. That'll be in another video about the software. Beware. I have been around iris software since 1998. I know a little bit about that too, but that's for a future video. Right now, here it is, the Pesek IrisCam MultiFlex. I am extremely proud of this creation. And like I said before, the quality goes in before my name goes on it. Thank you for watching. God bless on your journey in life. And I hope I get to see you and meet you or talk to you in the near future. Thanks again.